So, is pandering bad? Well, let's start off with what pandering is. Basically, pandering is where somebody goes out of their way in a movie, TV show, or comic book to please a certain demographic or group of people. The one of the more recent examples of pandering is the Ghostbusters 2016 movie. I think it was 2016. I didn't pay much attention to it. I think it was okay. I've seen a few clips from it, and a lot of the jokes were hit or miss. But we're not here to make a review of that movie. We're here to see whether pandering is good or bad. Well, in this case, I would definitely say the pandering was bad, because this was definitely more to pander to the SJWs, the people who think like Anita Sarkeesian does, well, just anything she says in general. Just go on her YouTube channel, just like listen to the things she says, and then just contrast them to reality. And and this was around the time when there was a lot of conflict on the internet, especially between SJWs and the anti-feminists and stuff like that. And this did not help, because then this got the original Ghostbusters fans involved in it, and then it just blew up massively. It definitely had bigger repercussions than they probably imagined when they had the idea of doing it. And it definitely just didn't really care that much about being a good movie as much as it cared about pandering to SJWs. And it was a bit weird, because it had pandering for the original Ghostbusters fans with inside the movie, even though that demographic was a demographic they pissed off the most during production, and when it was revealed, and when the movie was released, and after the movie was released. By having some of the original cast just pop in and basically just say hello, and they got one or two funny lines. But it was, I will say, that was a bit weird, but I wouldn't really say that was bad pandering. It's just like, hey, it felt more like to me just like, hey, if you're original Ghostbusters fan, just here's a little bit of fan service for you. And another thing that was called fan service is in Star Wars Rogue One, near the end, when Darth Vader was just cutting rebels into itty bitty pieces. There was some people saying like that they felt fan service dead. Yeah, I don't even think that's proper English, but you know what I mean. And all I was thinking when I saw that scene, I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. Just how he's just like, and it's just like that is basically the embodiment of Star Wars, right? That is probably like the coolest Darth Vader scene we'll probably get ever. But yeah, you could say that was a bit fan servicey. And that's the main reason why I think about this is fan service always bad, because like I said, there's bad fan service with Ghostbusters 2016, where it just appeals to a demographic despite previous iterations, or the plot or whatever, and it just goes out of its way to change that. And then there's and then there's that where it doesn't really go out of its way to change anything, and it doesn't feel like the movie was just built around that one scene, just like having Darth Vader do that. The movie did feel like it was built on its own merits, and then that was added in um you know just like a normal movie. But so you could say there would be good fan services like that Darth Vader bit, like just adding a bit for the fans um of whatever. But when you build an entire movie or a TV show or episode or whatever around that single premise, then that is bad fan service. You could probably get it to, you could probably get it to be right if you put a lot of work and effort into just like into not just making it about that, but actually building up the characters and everything else, as well as keeping it revolving around that one plot. But yeah, if you're just gonna build something like a movie or TV show around a certain premise, then that's probably gonna turn out as bad fan service to whoever's a fan of that premise that you're building it around. So it's not really it's not really a case of good versus bad fan service, but just how you handle it. Do you put the fan service in there, but make sure it doesn't compromise the story or characters or anything? Then you're probably going to get that's going to be a good fan service, and that's one of the ways Ghostbusters 2016 failed, because they didn't change up enough about the original with the characters to actually make the characters their own. And a lot of people will even tell you like the original Ghostbusters was very was a phenomenon. The character, they picked the exact perfect actors to play those characters just so it would work. Well, that's the only way they could get it to work. Even back then with the original script, even with all male cast, if you chose any other four actors, it probably wouldn't be good, let alone a media phenomenon that it was. But if they could actually make the characters their own, then it would probably have been a better movie and cut some of the too stupid scenes out, and with like the guy when the always went off and he went, "Ow, my ears!" And it's just like that's too stupid. That's just too stupid. And some of the failed jokes. Yeah. So yeah, there is way of doing fan service correctly, and there's incorrectly. That there's no such thing as good or bad fan service. I wouldn't say no such thing, but it's not so much as a debate on whether it's good or bad. It's just like whether the fan service was done correctly by just putting it in there, but not letting it compromise the story or characters. And then there's bad fan service where it does compromise the story and characters. But yeah, that's just basically my thoughts on whether there is such thing as bad fan service. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.